The Unhappy Hour on the new AmericanMedia.com.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way Galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Unhappy Hour here on the TNAM radio network here at thenewamericanmedia.com. My name is Brian Engelman. I'm your host, as I have been for the past 5 years. Thank you so much for sticking around and checking it out. Man, if we had an up and down ride with the Cleveland Cavaliers since I started this program. If you recall, our program was kind of born right around the time that the Miami Heat were playing the Dallas Mavericks, or they called them the Mavaliers, or the Cavricks, because so many Cavs fans were rooting against LeBron James in those finals. Well, come full circle, guess what? The king comes home, and that means since I root for laundry, yes, I'm a fan of laundry. If you're wearing a Cavalier jersey, hey, you're on my team. Welcome, brother. But if you're Anderson Varejao and you end up on another team, hey, I wish you well, but I don't wish you a championship. Maybe Varejao was a little different because we found a way to get him out of our contract. And Channing Frye has come in very helpful, and I suspect we're going to see a very big game from Channing Frye in the next couple of games. If you had to put down something that I'm going to go out on a limb with, I think you're going to see another really big game. We've seen a few from Channing Frye. Don't forget what Channing Frye was doing in the NBA playoffs up until this series. Don't forget. So now we got Kevin Love out, but hey, point is the Cleveland Cavaliers just smashed the Golden State Warriors. It was quite the interesting experience being out in Los Angeles, watching a particular game yesterday. Whew, man. Not a lot to cheer about if you're a Golden State Warrior fan after that. You know, and that's the Cleveland Cavalier team that I know we have the potential to be. Can we be that consistency? Can we be that great team consistently? Can we be that team consistently? Well, that's the question that needs to be answered. And they say that an NBA Finals doesn't start until a team wins a game on the road. So, big game tomorrow. Can the Cavaliers hang in there and keep not home court advantage, but defend their home court, thus turning it into a 3-game series tied 2-2. So, subscribe, youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. Follow us on Instagram, too. And check out the homepage of thenewamericanmedia.com. It is our Twitter and Facebook link. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get Zak Baris on the horn, because he was at the game, and I want to hear all about it. He actually knows Richard Jefferson kind of well, who's getting a lot of minutes these days with Kevin Love's concussion.
Hello?
Morning, Zach. You're live on the air. How you doing, sir?
Good. How about you?
I'm living the dream, man. I was in the intro, I was talking about Richard Jefferson getting some minutes, and you actually know Richard a little bit more than a lot of NBA players. How did that come to be?
Just, the Arizona connection. I mean, he, both went to Arizona. Obviously, he's way older than I am.
He's way older than most people in the NBA, actually.
So he's way older than I am. But Richard, when I was at the university, Richard had actually donated at the time. It was the largest donation ever made by an athlete to the university. He donated $3 million to build the new basketball facility at Arizona.
Yeah.
So he's very loyal to Arizona. Donated a lot of money to the athletic department. Came by for the alumni games and stuff. It was always really cool to see him down there. So Richard's, he's a stand-up guy just in the community, and it was great to see him last night get in the starting lineup, and, they just dominated from the start.
Explain what Jefferson brings to the table that Love did not.
Here's the thing. He's more. I'm not saying Love is not athletic, but the problem is Kevin Love was not able to guard Draymond Green.
Yeah.
This put LeBron solely on Draymond, and LeBron dominated Draymond. Offensively and defensively, dominated.
I mean,
And that's
it's
exactly
really
what
an
it did.
epic. I think we're witnessing something like somewhat of an epic defensive NBA Finals performance from LeBron James. Are we getting to that point? He's looking really aggressive on D.
I mean, there were some. I mean, I wouldn't say Game 1 and Game 2 were epic. Game 3 was fantastic, though. I mean, let's put it this way: the Cavaliers last night looked locked in defensively, and their strategy of basically shutting down Curry and Thompson worked last night.
Well, but
It worked
let me.
the first 2 games too, but they couldn't. The problem is they couldn't score the basketball.
No, that's true. But that when I say an epic performance, okay, fine, he's not getting as many highlight reel chase down blocks or something like that. But even it's one of my favorite vines that I've ever seen. It's when it's after the play, a foul's been called or something happens, time stops, and Steph Curry picks up a rebound and attempts to go dunk it in, and LeBron turns out of the corner of his eye, sees it, and jumps up and blocks him at the end of the third quarter, I think it was. There's an attitude that's coming out of this Cavs team that I don't know why it was dormant for 2 games, but when I say epic, I'm saying they're really shutting Curry and Thompson down, and I'm seeing LeBron playing just a hyper-aggressive defense that really forces the other team to not play a 24-second clock. They're playing an 18-second clock, a 15-second clock.
For sure. I mean, even Kyrie was good defensively last night. I mean,
yeah.
It's a lot harder to determine when you're at the game than watching on TV and being involved with the crowd and everything. It is much harder to judge a game when you're sitting in the stands. It is much harder. I will say that right now. If you're not fully paying attention, there are things you don't see because you don't get the live action replays. You don't get any of that. So it's much harder to tell when you're there in person, being honest.
That's true.
Nowadays with high definition TV and film, you can go sit there, pause, rewind, go back, and go and check everything you want. There's always replays of the play. You don't have that when you're live at the game. And nor are you even focusing on the replay when it's played on the scoreboard necessarily. It's like when there's a foul called, you go and you make your judgment right then and there. You always hear crowds make a judgment, and then you're watching TV like that wasn't even close. While the crowd's thinking something completely different because they're seeing what they saw, what they think they saw, and you're seeing the replay 10, 15 times on TV.
Yeah, it's a very different experience. I developed a nickname called Captain Rewind. Just when something cracks me up or saying it's an amazing sports play, I just rewind it over. I just want to see that amazing play. That's how I like to watch it.
I don't know how the game sounded on TV last night, but I can tell you it was the loudest it ever was in that building. And it was, I've never seen it louder in there. And it was, you couldn't hear yourself last night.
Well, I was calling Game 3 the most important Cleveland Cavalier game in franchise history.
I would say that, but I also would say Game 4 last year when the Cavaliers were up 2-1 against the Warriors. I would have said Game 4 was incredibly important too. But this was the same. This is the same obvious. If the Cavaliers lost last night, they would have been 9-0-3. The series would have been over.
Yeah, and that's maybe why that one ranks at least a little further ahead for me. But talk about it for a second. With the NBA home court advantage, I mean, the Cavs won by 30 points after we got completely blown out before that. The wild swings here. Is it all due to home court advantage, or what do you attribute it to?
It's got to be. I mean, I can't even tell you. Let's take a look back at the Raptors here. The Cavaliers dominated games 1 and 2, and you said, there's no way this should even be going 3 games, let alone 4. It was such a lot. And you're like, okay, the series is over. What do the Cavaliers do in Toronto? They get blown away by 20-something points in Toronto. Then, the next game they're down by 20-something points in Toronto. They came back and almost won. And then suddenly fans are on their toes for game 5 in Cleveland. And this is very reminiscent of that. Very reminiscent. And I'm looking at this series right now going, okay, where are the Cavs right now? They're down 2-1. They played damn well at home. I mean, they're 8-0 in the postseason. 8-0.
Right.
And most of the games haven't even been close. They haven't been close.
Yeah.
A couple of them have, but very few of them have. So we're witnessing that. I mean, I did not have a ton of confidence going into last night's game. I thought the Cavaliers were going to win. I thought they were going to win big. But I wasn't confident. I wasn't extremely confident. That was my guess. I either thought we were going to lose a close one or they were going to blow them away last night. And they blew them away. Again, I think they're going to win tomorrow night, too, and they're going to take the series 2-2 back to Oakland. I have much more faith than I did then, especially I wasn't even worried with Kevin Love being out, and especially when the Cavaliers got on that 9-0 run last night and set the pace in the first quarter. I was like, okay, I can breathe a little easier. Even at halftime when they were up 8, Golden State had some of the momentum, and then, the Cavs made that shot before the before the half, and then JR almost, drained that three.
Yeah,
But-
it was a big swing. That was like a 5-6 point swing right there. Was that a 2-point play that they had, or was it anyway? But yeah, even at an 8-point lead at halftime, that's not comfortable. That's three quick
No, it wasn't
three-pointers.
comfortable, but I felt better about it. The Cavaliers had completely blown it and brought it back up again.
Yeah,
And
but then those last two plays go against him. It's the high of, oh my God, he hit a half-court shot. Oh, it was still in his hand, and it's
I wasn't
deflating.
feeling amazing at halftime, but the beginning of the third quarter, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, it's like, okay, it's over. They're going to win. They're killing them. The thing is, though, even with a 20-point lead last night, I still didn't feel safe against Golden State.
No.
Because when they start knocking down threes and they make 3 in a row, 4 in a row, and you're just like, okay, there they go. They're capable. The Cavaliers are capable of doing it, too. Both teams are capable of doing it.
Yes, they are.
Golden State just seems to be a little more capable of doing it.
Yeah, but they're doing something different defensively. They're wearing Curry down. They're wearing Thompson down. They're starting to get. I see that they might have figured something out. Now
They may
hindsight,
have, and we're going to see tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If the Cavaliers get this, the Cavaliers tend to play one really, really damn good road game in each series so far. They had one great one against the Pistons. They had one great one against the Hawks. I wouldn't say great. It was one very good one against the Hawks. And then they had one, and they had one great one against the Raptors. Win tomorrow night. I'm not even getting ahead of myself and talking about Game 5 at this point. But win tomorrow night, and then you can focus on Game 5 winning on the road. But no matter what, tomorrow night is a must-win. This is a must-win game. This is the series tomorrow night. You do not want to go down 3-1 back into Golden State.
no, that wouldn't be, because just like
This
we were
is not-
saying.
This is not a must-win for Golden State, though.
Yeah, but
Golden State. I'm saying, though, Golden State, would they like to win? Yes, but it's not do or die for Golden State tomorrow night. Golden State, no matter what, even if the series is tied, they're going in still with two home games left.
But let me ask you this. You're seeing Steph Curry. He's not playing like he used to, and we'll get to him in a second here. But he's really struggling in the finals. My contention is, I don't know. You're saying that last night's game was the loudest that crowd has ever been.
It was so loud in there, Brian. I don't know how it picks up on TV.
Yeah, I was.
It does not pick up well on TV.
I was out at
loud.
I was out at a bar I was at Barney's Beanery on the Promenade in Santa Monica.
Okay, I know exactly where that's at. Right on 3rd Street.
Yeah, and so we were up on the second floor. And, we had a flat screen TV, like, right in our face. It was actually kind of cool. And there were Warrior, air quote, fans everywhere. And I'll tell you what, I was clapping, but I was one of only 5 or 7 people that were clapping for the Cavs. And there were a couple of times the Warrior fans got a little louder, but for the most part, they were pretty doggone quiet, and they bolted out of that place right at the fourth quarter. You looked around, the place emptied.
I did the same thing, though, when the Cavaliers lost Game 1. I was at a watch party for Game 1, not at the stadium, at the arena. I was watching down in the flats at a watch party, and I straight up got up and I literally said, F this, and I walked out.
And that's easy to consider, because I went through the same thing with another friend at a different place for the game too. But I feel like the Golden State Warriors have never played a Cavs team this healthy, with this much focus, with this much experience. And I think with the stadium, are they playing that commercial? Just to get people fired up for Cleveland and for everything.
I think what got fired up last night is, you had the fans, and this is what it's been all playoffs, so every single home game, has been the national anthem, has been the sing-along with the national anthem. You get people energized before the game. I think it's really helped. The crowd was so loud at tip-off last night. I barely sat down the entire game, and I sit in the first few rows behind the Cavs bench. I barely sat down. It was people were sitting up almost the entire game. I was probably standing for 38 or 40 minutes out of the 48 minutes of that game.
Man.
There was very little sitting last night. And, the crowd, again, was just so energized. It was so great to have the crowd behind them. And, they just had all the momentum throughout the entire game.
Well, momentum is what I was specifically starting to get at, because I feel like the Golden State Warriors are feeling the pressure. I think they're feeling vulnerable. I think they might be nervous that the Cavs just figured something out. I think the comparison of LeBron versus Steph Curry, you're starting to see it play out. LeBron is pretty pissed that he's not considered the MVP of this league anymore. And I mean, when he blocked Steph Curry on that random garbage dunk, I feel like the Warriors have never seen a Cav team this focused, this practiced, this loud out of the fans. I feel like we are way more intimidating right now, especially since Golden State almost got knocked out by the Thunder. I feel like we've rattled their cage.
I mean, we may have, but don't forget Oklahoma City rattled their cage too, and look how look how they came back. They were down 3-1 going to Oklahoma City they were down 3-2, and then they beat Oklahoma City in OKC. They came back in Game 7 and beat OKC. This team, I mean, I wouldn't say they faced a ton of adversity all season, but they really did in that last season. Again, that's the most overused word in sports. But they were down 3-1 with their backs against the wall, against a team that was surging, that beat them by 40 points, Brian. They beat them by 40. I mean, again, the Cavaliers just, once they hit the gas pedal, shouldn't let go. You don't stop.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron and those guys played till like 4 minutes left in the game last night.
The problem with Oklahoma City, and this is something that Durant's always had the problem with, is closing out. That Oklahoma City could not close out fourth quarters all season.
Right.
This isn't something new. That's one thing. That's where Oklahoma City was incredibly vulnerable. They could not close out in the fourth quarter. We witnessed it. I mean, their shot selection was terrible. Their pass selection was terrible. Oklahoma City did not. Golden State more. It's not even like they won that series. Oklahoma City lost that series. They had all those opportunities to win, and they just didn't when they should have, because they choked so badly in the fourth quarter. I've never seen anything like it. Their ball movement got so bad. Kevin Durant's shot selection was just, horrendous. They couldn't shoot the basketball. They couldn't do anything.
Well, I think to sum it up then, I think the Warriors are a little I think they're probably nervous right now because as tough as it was to get past the Thunder do not have LeBron James. Kevin Durant is not LeBron James.
Kevin Durant is not LeBron James. We all know that. Despite people a couple of years ago were saying, Kevin Durant is, he's not.
But he's very good. He's very good, but he's not
Kevin
LeBron
Durant's
James.
He's a top 5 player in this league, but he's not LeBron. And don't forget, when LeBron's LeBron, LeBron, you could tell last night that was the LeBron. We're not losing this game, no matter what happens. We're not losing. JR worried me in the first half. He wasn't really making shots, and all of a sudden he came out in the second half. He was shooting lights out.
Yeah.
J.R. Smith is the Cavaliers' X factor. The X factor. He comes out and makes shots. The Cavaliers win. They don't ever lose when J.R. Smith is on his A game ever. Kyrie really stepped up last night. He was great too. He was he was just fantastic. He was passing the ball. He was shooting. Just everything. He was. He wasn't being such a ball hog and just coming down the court, taking a shot. There was a lot of good ball movement last night. That's one thing I witnessed. And that was great with having Jefferson there. It makes the Cavaliers more athletic offensively and defensively.
They just seem faster.
They were faster. They were pushing the pace. People say you can't beat Golden State at their pace. Oklahoma City beat Golden State at their own pace.
Yeah.
You can beat Golden State at their pace. And when Golden State's off, when Curry and Thompson are off, Golden State tends to get smashed. We witnessed it against the Lakers this year. We witnessed it against the Thunder. We witnessed it last night. They get smashed when those two are off. And their bench can't. Again, the Cavaliers made their bench go and beat them in game one. Golden State's bench, Sean Livingston beat them. Last night their focus was let's make Bogut the focus of let's make Bogut and Draymond their offensive focus tonight. Let them take the shots. We're not going to let Curry and we're not going to let Thompson have these shots. Let's make Andrew Bogut take shots. And when the Cavaliers were up 9-0, Bogut made the first 2 shots last night.
Yeah, Sean Livingston is not always going to shoot lights out. That's an anomaly for his game.
Sean Livingston is not what he could have been. I don't, again, want to talk about his injury at all because it was so long ago. And, yes, it did hinder his development greatly. We witness sometimes what Sean Livingston could have been. He is a very, very good backup point guard.
Okay.
And by the way, too, there are more players from the 2013 Cavs on the Golden State Warriors roster right now than there are on the Cavaliers roster.
Well, what?
The Cavaliers have from 2013, I'm pretty sure there's Livingston, Maurice Spates, and Anderson Varejao.
That's right, Spates.
And the Cavaliers have Delly, Thompson, and Irving. So each team I remember.
That's a weird stat. That's a weird one.
Yeah, so they have just as many players from the 2013 team.
Well, okay.
I think it was 2012. It was the 2012 team, I believe. I think it was the 2012, 2013 team that they were saying that there are more Warriors are 3-2 because Delhi wasn't on that team yet.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the team, but I find that one kind of funny.
Yeah, that is a strange one. But talk about a guy that played a little bit, maybe not in 2013, but how about last year, Timofey Mozgov, because of Kevin Love's injury. Mozgov got a few minutes. What did you make out of his performance?
He looked damn good last night.
Yes, he did.
Again. I was not expecting it. Mozgov has looked terrible all season. Last night, he comes in there defensively. He played very well. When the second he checked in the game, I was like, I literally said, oh, shit. That was my first reaction, was exactly what I said. But, he proved me wrong. I was very, very happy about that.
Yeah, in horse racing, in adverse conditions, they have mutters. A mutter. Someone that can run really well in the sleet or the rain or the slushy conditions, then they thrive in it. Mozgov, you just throw him out there, and it's a little adverse condition, and he just went on autopilot. He seemed. I liked how I almost forgot how nice it was to have a rim protector, someone right there. Tristan does his thing, but
Tristan was fantastic last night. By the way, I mean,
oh yeah,
we witnessed in Toronto how bad Tristan was, and then he comes back to Cleveland. And what do you know? The guy's lights out. And then in Game 6 in Toronto, he was lights out. Tristan has his off nights, but he doesn't have his off nights at home, which is a good thing. It bodes well for the Cavs.
Right. Talking about him having some bad games and some good games, you got to figure there were some pretty big chew-out sessions during the film reviews and in practice, really going over.
That's what happens when teams lose. Players start bickering at each other. It happens. But, again, they could have easily fallen apart last night and just tanked and lost the series in 4. They could have done it.
Yeah,
Tomorrow would have been demoralizing. You should have seen the attitude of people the other day when they were down 2-0 going into last night's game.
I know.
Everybody was just, it was like
shell
Game 7
shock
was on the line. Like, everybody was just shell shocked. And I'm sitting there yesterday at work going to one of my buddies. I go, do you want the 2 tickets for Friday night? Or no, this was 2 days ago. I go, do you want? He goes, no, we're probably going to be down 3-0. I don't even want the tickets for Friday. I go, you sure you don't want them? You sure you don't want the 2 extras for Friday? He goes, no, sell them. I go, okay. I got someone lined up. I got another friend who will take them. Today he goes, dude, back out. He goes, tell him you can't sell the tickets. I was like, I already sold him those 2 tickets. I was like, tough luck. Like, I'll try and get you a couple more. But I was like, it's tough luck at this point. There's nothing I can do. I already sold them. I'm not taking back the tickets after I've gotten the money for them. Not taking them back.
Hey, you know what? You know what? That's why you and I sorted that out real quick and cleared it up. Man, if Game 6, if we can hoist it, that's me. I'm putting my name down on it, raising my hand.
It's funny, though, these tickets that I'm offering, though, that I was offering would have gone probably below face for tomorrow night. Now the same tickets that I was offering are selling over $1,000, the cheapest one, over $1,000 of the face value of my seat.
Man.
That I was offering up.
Go figure.
Yeah. So he's looking today, and he's like, wow, they're selling for a lot of it. Yeah.
Man, it makes you think about Wall Street and all the financial gurus that make a living based on, acquisitions like this. Hard assets versus the ticket price of a finals game. It's interesting, the supply and demand and how quickly Cleveland can be completely demoralized and wave the white flag, and then at the next time become the most boisterous and confident person in the world.
City, though, too. It's nerve-wracking.
It is.
But I can tell you right now, if the Cavaliers, for some reason, I can tell you last year when it was 2-2, heading back in the Golden State, you just knew last year though because they just ran out of depth.
Yeah.
You knew when they lost Game 4 last year, they just ran out of talent. Delhi couldn't play anymore. They were they were exhausted. After Game 3, you kind of knew what that was like. That was the finale last year. Last night, though, I can tell you, again, Game 3 after they went up 2-1 last year was crazy. Very, very crazy. Last night was insane. You should have seen people leaving that arena last night. It was nuts.
Man, here's a question. When it comes to this, I haven't really thought about it, but when you go from Game 3 to Game 4, for example, in an NBA Finals, it's very different in football because, obviously you have one Super Bowl. You don't have a series. Is it a lot of the same people coming back each night, or is it because everybody wants it so bad you see a lot of different faces? How does that work?
My section, for the most part, are the same exact people.
Because they're the hardcore season ticket holders. And
No, I sit with the friends and family of the team, so it's the same people every night. I sit next to the Irvings. I sit next to Kyrie's sister and his dad. They're the same people there every night. The people next to me seem to change, and the people right behind me seem to change, but everybody else in the section seems to stay the same.
Man.
I've recognized all the faces. It's almost like everybody knows each other now. Everybody's high-fiving at the same points now. It's like you've gotten to know these people. It's like kind of like a small little family. It's kind of funny, actually.
That's pretty cool.
But it's nice that everybody's, for the most part, all the fans are very respectful. You didn't see that necessarily in the first series. The funny thing was in the first series against the Pistons, there were these jerk-offs behind me sitting there. They're talking, Kyrie Irving sucks, Kyrie Irving this. And finally, his sister gets up, and I finally just look at the guys. I go, hey, guys, might want to calm down on the Kyrie Irving stuff a little bit. They're like, why? What do you care? And I go, well, you're sitting, I don't think the section you're sitting in, I don't think you realize it, but you're sitting right behind Kyrie Irving's sister. That's why she started asking you earlier. And the guys are like, oh, we don't care. We don't care. We'll say what we want about him. Second half, they didn't say a word about him, and Kyrie went off. So, that's what's nice about having the same familiar faces there every night is you don't hear anything. You're not going to sit there and bash your own players. And again, there ain't this season. There's no reason to go sit there and bashing their own players.
You're right. Yeah, of course. That
there
would
ain't
make no sense.
Season at home.
Yeah, that would make no sense. But talking about, what happens when you're on your home turf and you get to know people and there's such a familiarity and so much more energy. If we, let's just say if. Well, not if. The Cavaliers cannot win a championship unless they can win a game in Oakland. That's it. There's no mathematical way around it. Even if we want to use Bernie Sanders math.
Honestly, if you're the best team in the NBA, you should be able to win in a road game. They've won road games this whole postseason. Yeah, they'll play like crap in some of them. Let's hope they got their crap play out of the way in the first two games. Because now, if you win tomorrow night, all it takes is one road game to snatch this thing up.
And you think it's a doable? Do you believe the Cavs have?
I don't even know if it's doable yet. We haven't won Game 4.
I know.
After Game 4, we'll talk on Saturday on the show. I just didn't have when they were down 2-0. When you asked me for a show the other day, I just texted you back. I go, I don't have it in me.
I know.
I just didn't. I'm surprised you even have a voice tonight.
Same here. I was screaming just as loud. It was fun being so loud in a place where I totally did not fit in. It was pretty fun, actually.
Last night, I was walking out of the court club, and I was walking. By the way, I saw Jimmy Goldstein last night. For Brian, you should know who he is. Super fan NBA, the old dude who's at every single game.
Yeah. Now he's not as good.
Ticket holder.
Would you say he's as cool or less cool than the turban guy from the Raptors?
I mean, it's Jimmy Goldstein. Jimmy's way cooler.
Forget about it.
Nobody knows the turban guy's name. Everybody knows Jimmy Goldstein.
Yeah,
except for like sometimes you have a picture of and he goes, "Who the hell is that?"
I saw. Didn't you post that? And I saw someone said, "Sing Free Fallin'," like it was Tom Petty.
Yeah. I mean, you should have seen his outfit last night. I mean, it was funny.
That's awesome.
So I ran into him last night in the court club, and then he was, an extremely nice guy, and we asked him to go, who's going to win? He goes, Warriors are going to win it tonight. We're like, okay. You're wrong, but okay.
Yeah, all right, pal. No, and let me clarify as well. I want to apologize for people that listen to the show on a regular. Obviously, I've been building up to this for 5 freaking years to get to the finals, and it's like, why aren't you doing a show in Game 1? What about Game 2? And for the record, there was a very bizarre technical glitch that has since been worked out. Otherwise, we were confirmed ready to do a show on, what was it, Friday or Saturday? Friday, right?
Yeah.
So that was on me. And then the second one, let's face it, I was out watching the game, and I didn't feel like doing a show when I got back, and I was really demoralized on top of it.
Ryan, I was so down the last couple of days since Sunday night's loss, like Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I was like shaking yesterday at work. I was so nervous.
I know.
I didn't have it in me. I was like, and by the end of the day, I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to be just fine. We got this, do or die. And we came out there. They came out strong, and they dominated. And that was exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted a blowout last night. I did not even want to see that close.
No, couldn't have.
And it's going to be. I just want to win tomorrow, and I don't care how they do it. I just hope they get it done.
Yeah. I can agree with that. It's been very tough. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's really hard to be this good, and then you end up 0-2, and it's not do or die because you have two more, but you just start. It does something to you. But here's the thing. I mean, the X factor by all accounts. You can tell me how great the Golden State Warriors are. That's fantastic. Nobody's been through what LeBron's been through. He's seen every set of adverse circumstances. The Golden State Warriors, I really think the Cavs might have figured something out. This is 3 straight games that they have not been playing well, Curry and Thompson, or at least significantly less on the average than they've done this entire record-setting season. Consistently, hiccups and burps here and there. But I really think we might be onto something, man.
They might be. I hope they are, and I really hope they are, because I want to see a championship more than anything for this time. I really do.
Yeah, and it's fair. Let's not try to focus too much more on anything other than the next game. Speaking of next game, obviously it's one of the biggest stories. That's maybe why I'm saving it for into our conversation as opposed to leading off with it. Kevin Love. Talk to me, man. You can go the Wiggins route and talk about what that means. You can talk
don't even bring it up, because I can tell you right now, Andrew Wiggins is not an all-star. He's not anywhere close to being an all-star. He's a completely one-dimensional player. All he can do is score.
Doesn't he play decent defense, though? He plays pretty good defense.
Not really. He's not really an above-average defender. And the thing is what would you take? Again, don't forget, though, the Cavaliers, where's J.R. Smith going to play? Where's Shump going to play when Andrew Wiggins is playing? I'd take J.R. Smith right now over Wiggins or Shump. They're just better defensively.
Real? Okay. All right.
I'm saying LeBron would have never, ever played with Andrew Wiggins. It wasn't happening. And Kevin Love is a superior player. Don't forget, the Timberwolves were a 44-win team. When they lost Love, they added Thaddeus Young. They added some pieces, and they won like 16 games the next season. Kevin Love is a very valuable player. Kevin Love, matchup-wise in the series, isn't necessarily the best. Along with Kyrie, because both of them can be strong defensive liabilities at points.
Right.
And it really limits the Cavs. That's why having Richard Jefferson in there and moving LeBron on a Draymond really, really helps.
Talk about the concussion in general. How tuned in and locked in are you on the specifics of the NBA concussion protocol and where Kevin Love's at?
It's a lot like the NFL. I mean, you have to pass a certain amount of tests. Back in the day, it would have taken nothing to pass a concussion test. Kevin Love would have played. The NBA, I mean, all professional sports now have to be focused on this.
Yeah, they just have to.
Prevent guys from coming down with, disease like CTE.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, you have to think about that kind of stuff. And, there are things that are just more important than basketball sometimes. It's the player's long-term health.
And we saw that with Chris Bosh the past 2 years.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not worth someone dying at 40 or having horrible brain loss and dementia at age 45 than it is keeping them safe and keeping them healthy. The Cavaliers know how to win without Kevin Love. They did it last year. I'm not saying they're a better team without Kevin Love, because it's not true at all. We've seen how good this team can be when they're on, and they look unbeatable when they're on. They're not always on, but when they are, they look unbeatable. And
I think what I'm leaning toward is I would ease him back into the rotation, and I would keep Jefferson in the starting lineup.
There's no way I would start him for. Then I would play him. If he's available to play, he will play. I don't necessarily think don't destroy the momentum you have by coming out with that lineup that was ultra strong the other night. Don't do that to yourself. Go out there, bring Love off the bench. He can provide you a lot of points off the bench. What have the Cavaliers lacked this postseason? Especially in the finals so far, or bench points. They don't have any.
Interesting.
The bench isn't scoring. You bring Kevin Love off the bench, you bring a guy who can at least kick out 25 any night off the bench.
I could see that, and that's probably why I'm leaning toward it. Having him as that's leading that second squad, I think it could be very important. But okay, then let me rephrase the question as opposed to what would you do. What do you think Coach Lue is going to do? Do you think? Because I'm hearing rumblings that Love might start.
He's going to start tomorrow night.
Okay, because I'm hearing rumblings that Love's going to start.
I haven't seen anything about that yet. I mean, we'll know tomorrow, even before it's announced. We'll know tomorrow. I'll find out tomorrow and I will let you know.
Well, and you can feel free to tweet that or post that in the unhappy. Oh, by the way, if you guys aren't following Zak on Twitter, he's at Baris. That's ZBARIS. And if you're not following us on Twitter, we're at American_media_. And if you're on Facebook, do a search for The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Search it and send a request in. If we can verify that you're a Cavalier fan, we'll let you into our private group that's, I don't know, get somewhere just shy of 1,000 people in the group. Maybe 8.5 or something. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, link up with us. But, Zak, what I was saying is feel free to share that in the Unhappy Hour or to tweet us, and so we get the alert on our phone, and we can share that with everybody once we get the updates. But, okay, so pull him off the bench. That's something that Coach Lou's going to have to make a determination on. But there was another Cavalier coach, the story's coming out now, a very soft-spoken coach with Oakland connections completely went off on a expletive-filled tirade on the team, how embarrassed he was and how poorly they were playing. What do you know about that story? Because I've just been skimming it.
I think it was Phil Handy that did it. He went off. Pissed off. That's what a coach is there for. They're there to motivate their team. He did the right thing. He motivated the team, got under their skin, and what do you know? They were, they came out there. They obviously took it to heart. They realized what he said. I mean, their team could have easily buckled over last night and just fell in the pit and went away. They could have done that.
It could have happened.
And called this a series. They could have done that. Trust me. LeBron wants nothing more than to win the series. LeBron's career is set if he goes and wins this series. Set.
Yeah.
He's set for life. LeBron will go down, again, mark my words, if they win this series, is the greatest player of all time. I'm not saying he's better than Jordan. The problem is you can't even compare. Generation. He's the best player in the generation, let's put it that way. Yeah, I don't think you can compare eras. You just can't.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain and some of the stuff that the old school cats were doing, and
it was a
Kareem.
totally different game 20 years ago. When the Bulls played. I still say those 95-96 Bulls were the greatest team ever. They were still the greatest team ever. Oh, the Golden State Warriors are a great team, but you don't see the Bulls losing any games by 30 points that season. The one game they lost by in the 20s was in the finals. They were up 3-0. Mind you, against the Seattle Supersonics. They were up 3-0, and they lost by 23. And they were up 3-0. I will remind you again when I say that. They were not down 3-0, or they were not up 2. It wasn't tied 2-2, or they were up 2-1. They were up 3-0.
Well, I think you're right that LeBron is going to go down as one of the top players of all time. I think he's already there, but he needs that championship in Cleveland.
In this generation. I don't think he is anyway. I don't think it's really close. But this was, even though Kobe has his 5 rings, Kobe also won his first 3 rings in an era where there was no talent in the NBA. And it's not Kobe's fault. But there was very little talent in the NBA at that point. All the talent flux. There's a giant talent gap. Go look at the draft from basically 98 through 2002.
Yeah, I think we touched on that during the last show.
Exactly. We had a 4-year gap in the NBA where there was very little talent in the NBA. It's not to say there were some great players, but it just wasn't like it is now. 2003 is where all the talent came back in. When you flooded the gates with LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, all those guys, Carmelo Anthony. And suddenly it brought superstars back into the NBA that they had lacked for years.
Yeah, weird how that can happen. I mean, you figure it's got to happen everywhere. And that's actually, now that I'm thinking about different sports, this is a point I wanted to bring up. If Kevin Love is not reinserted back into the lineup, Zak, if he doesn't end up there, wouldn't it be like going up against a team with a very good run defense, so you game plan differently for that one team in football? Or it's like pinch hitting a batter on your team?
Every team in basketball. I mean, each team is different. Each team plays a different style of basketball.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can pull out a pinch hitter because a left hand, or bring in a lefty from the bullpen because you have a better matchup against the next batter, you know what? So what? It's about winning the chip at the end of the season, and maybe you pulled out that pitcher. He's no good. I I really hope people aren't saying Kevin Love isn't any good because this one matchup it might work better if another player plays a different. I don't see that as really being the case, like they're mutually exclusive or that, oh, we're going to have to trade Kevin Love. And, you're hearing all of these wild things right now. Where do you stand on that?
I'm not for trading Kevin Love right now. Kevin Love has been a big piece of this team throughout the postseason. Been a huge piece. He hasn't always played perfect, but, again, I wouldn't trade him right now. I mean, again, tell me who they're going to get back.
Kevin Durant. I don't know. Who knows?
Boston tried to get him and give up a bunch of complimentary pieces. You don't trade, again, for $1 for 4 quarters in the NBA. You don't do that.
Yeah, that's a good phrase. That's stuck with me. You've been saying that for years.
I will credit Bill Simmons with that one.
No, and Bill Simmons is one of the most.
But he's 100% right though when he says that.
Yeah,
you do not trade $1 for 4 quarters in the NBA because in baseball you can do it. We witnessed it with the Randy Johnson trade in Seattle. The Mariners were a better team because of it. They got guys like Freddie Garcia. They wound up filling out their entire team because of that. But it didn't happen. It doesn't happen in the NBA. We witnessed what happened in Oklahoma City when you traded James Harden. Granted, Steven Adams is a good player. Steven Adams is no James Harden. I'm saying you could have gotten more for Harden than Steven Adams.
Well, I think Bill Simmons is one of the better. Have you checked out his new program? Is that officially launched yet? I've just been seeing stuff. I really like
just had an article the other day on Kevin Durant, so yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I still haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah, I've always liked his stuff. I don't like when he's like bashing Cleveland or bashing LeBron. Obviously, that stuff gets old. But whatever.
I mean, don't forget, he's a hardcore Celtics fan. And he's always hated LeBron. I mean, it just is what it is.
It is what it is. He's still good for other things. And that's the thing. A lot of these personalities. Colin Cowherd. He just did a great piece. I just shared it on the Unhappy Hour today. And he was just saying, don't compare Steph to MJ or to LeBron. Don't even do that. And anyway, he broke it down and it made a lot of sense. He's totally exploiting the 3-point line and the new style of play better than anybody else, and he may be one of the best shooters the game's ever seen. But he's no
better
MJ.
Than everyone else. So do what you got to do and exploit it and win.
But he's no LeBron. He's no MJ. He's not one of the best players this game's ever seen.
Steph Curry is a great player. He's a fantastic player.
Yes, he is.
The guy won a ring last season. They won 73 games. You cannot take any of that away from him.
Yes, very good.
Steph Curry has a chance to become one of the all-time greats. He does. He really does.
All right.
What he's doing, we haven't seen before.
That's true.
It's new to the game. We haven't seen it. And that's the Warriors' brand of basketball. It's new to the game, but it hasn't been seen before.
Yeah, and he hasn't done it for long enough yet. So, I really think, I just try to imagine what the Warriors would be right now if they didn't have that championship from last year. The swagger, the bravado, the cockiness, the arrogance, the focus, But
they do, and they're
pedigree.
Able to ride it out until they lose.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ, and that's what the Cavs are trying to do. Do you have any...
Nobody ever said it's going to be a cakewalk getting to the finals or winning the finals. It is not. It was never going to be an easy task going to beat Golden State when you don't have home court advantage. It's not going to be easy, but it is doable. It is possible. We've witnessed Golden State lose.
Oh, 3 games in the last series. Yeah,
they are beatable.
Absolutely. I knock on wood because anything can happen in a game. But I mean, from game 3 to game 4 in one game, anything can happen. I have a feeling, a gut instinct, a hunch that the Cavs have figured something out on these guys. I'm seeing something happening. And we'll find out. We'll see how it plays out, and we'll wrap it up with this, Zach. Let's get your predictions for Game 4 in Cleveland.
I'm going to say the Cavs are going to win. I'm not picking the score, but I'm saying the Cavaliers are going to even up the series tomorrow night.
And you're still nervous?
I'm not as nervous as I was, no.
I feel really
I'm
good.
a little on edge because the series is on the line tomorrow night.
That's true. But when I played football for an undefeated Brunswick Blue Devil high school team, 2 years in a row we were undefeated. My junior year and my senior year, went to the state championship, all that stuff. I think it was my dad that told me. I was telling him I was nervous. I think I was playing Shaker Heights, and all of their players were like 6'7" and 6'6" and 340. I'm 5'10" 110, 188 at the time. And my dad just kind of said, no, that feeling when you're saying you're nervous, it's the same feeling as being excited. Just think about it as I'm excited, and it's that same like tightening in your stomach muscles, and it's just kind of like, oh, it's like a cringing, but like imagine you're excited for something. What's that feel like? Yeah, it's the same emotion. It's the same tightening of those stomach muscles. It's the same feeling. So I think if Cleveland can collectively start being excited as opposed to the other emotions, I think there's something. I think there becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy if you can start to actually believe in the team as opposed to rooting for the team. And I hope we're turning that corner. I feel like it's happening. I feel like there's no better chance that the Cavs are going to have than right now, no better time than right now. I feel like something really good happened during that game yesterday, Zach. But I'll tell you what, we're gonna have to watch Game 4 and find out if that's the truth or not. And who knows, maybe I'll be buying you a beer for Game 6. We'll wait and see how that goes. But Zach, thanks so much for joining us again on the program, and hopefully we can do this again, and a lot of celebrating and a lot of excitement as opposed to anxiety. Zach, you have a great night, sir. Perfect. We'll do this again soon. There he goes, everybody, Zak Baris. I am telling you, that nervous feeling is the same as being excited. It's a feel it, like take your fists and your arms, and just kind of like bring them back to your ribs with your elbow, and just kind of like in a clenched fist, just shake it like, yeah, like you're really excited. Yeah, you feel that tightening in your stomach. Now imagine you're a little nervous for something. What are you doing? You're doing the same thing with your diaphragm, with your stomach muscles. You're kind of tightening up. Your arms are coming back to defend yourself. You're going, oh gosh. I'm telling you, Cleveland, that first feeling, think of it as excitement. Because we are at the center of the sports universe right now, and it feels good. And I know the lyric is feeling good, but I'm committed to feels. Anyhow, Cleveland, let's do this. Man, am I so excited. See, and look, it just worked for me, because I'm a little Nope, I'm excited. Put that little grin on your face and go, I'm excited. Or, I'm nervous. Which one feels better? Being excited. Smile. That's what I'm saying. I think we got to get this monkey off our back. The Believeland special came out this year. It's time. LeBron came back. It's time. Kyrie's there. Kevin Love's going to be coming back. It's time. This is it. This can be the year. So go represent live. So I want you to represent by checking out thenewamericanmedia.com and subscribing to youtube.com/thenewamericanmedia. And leave some comments on our programs. We got 5 years of shows. We do politics, we do spirituality, we do finance, all that jazz. Instagram.com/thenewamericanmedia, all of those things. My name's Brian Engelman, signing off for the TNAM Radio Network and the Unhappy Hour. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll talk again soon. Go Cavs.
And this is John B. Wells reminding you that not only is Brian Engelman a cool guy, and not only is the newamericanmedia.com a very cool platform, but here's a cool idea for you, too. Are you alone? Not really. Do you like dogs? Do you like cats? You do. Of course you do. Everybody does. One or the other, maybe even both. You know, there are a lot of dogs and cats that are at shelters right now, and if somebody doesn't take them home, they're going to wind up euthanized. That's a nice way of saying they're going to be killed, because there's simply not enough room. I guarantee it, the best dogs and the best cats, the best pets, come from shelters. There's something about dogs and cats. They know. They know where they are. You walk through one of them, and certainly at least one is going to look at you and go, I wish you'd take me home. I'm in hell. Please take me out of here. It'll be the best thing that you ever did for your soul. You'll feel good about it. And not only that, but you have a friend for life. Doesn't matter if you got money, you don't have money. What doesn't make any difference to a dog or cat? All they need is the sound of your voice and maybe even the stroke of your hand, and they're fine. Maybe a little food every once in a while. The sweetest sound that those pets ever hear is your voice. Think it over and adopt a cat or a dog from a local shelter today. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did.